Welcome, everyone, to our 30th episode of Dead Talk Live. I'm your host, Viz, from Walking Dead Now. Our broadcast every night is simultaneously live streamed to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I want to welcome our first-time viewers. We hope you can stay with us for the next hour and participate in our viewer interactive show. And a big thank you to all our regular viewers. I'm so glad that all of you are here with me tonight. If you haven't already done so, we ask that if you enjoy our broadcast as well as our custom videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel called Walking Dead Now. For more information on our show, please visit our website located at deadtalklive.com. As always, our producer Marko is going to be handling the text chatting, and I will be talking to you guys live on the air. And it's been a pretty exciting day today. Hello, Saz on YouTube. Hello, Hard Productions on YouTube. Hello to Marko on YouTube. Paint_tat on YouTube is joining us. Ismail on Instagram is joining us. Zambika37 is joining us tonight. We missed you last night, Zambika, and I told you the news of what Ismail did. Ismail was our contest winner last night, and he picked the governor, and he gave it to Zambika37 on Instagram because she really wanted that governor action figure, and it was just an amazing moment, and it just made us all just stop and pause and just realize what's important in life. Hey, Summer, joining us from Twitter. Thank you for joining us, Summer. Another one of our loyal viewers. AFO Sport on Instagram is joining us. Waving back at you, buddy. Thank you for joining us. So thank you so much, Ismail. That was just a wonderful thing you did. And Zambika writes, I know, I was so happy and thankful. So sweet. Irvian8420, hello on Instagram. Dobie513 is joining us on Instagram. Thank you to everyone who's joining us tonight. And for those of you who monitor our social media, you probably saw that we have a confirmed date for our Michael Cudlitz, also known as Abraham on The Walking Dead, for the interview on our very own Dead Talk Live show. He will be joining us this coming Thursday, May 28th. So mark your calendars. Make sure all of you guys are here. Tell all your friends. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a jam-packed room that night. And we are super psyched. Both me and Marko are psyched. I'm sure you guys are super psyched. And it's just going to be an exciting evening. This Thursday, May 28th. So that just got confirmed about an hour and a half or so before we went live tonight. And as you guys saw, I revealed the new action figure in our trivia contest tonight. Well, let me just go ahead and just show you that right away. There we go. Carol. Carol is being introduced to our trivia contest action figure giveaway. And I posed a question to everyone about the gas can that comes with her action figure. And we've seen Carol throughout the years burn a lot of people. Okay? And I wanted to get your guys' opinion. Was the gas can representing what she did in the prison when she took Karen and some other people in the back, killed them because they had the flu, and then torched them? Does it represent after they took out the Savior Outpost for Gregory, where they made the super big mistake and got themselves into a lot of trouble with Negan, and then Carol and Maggie got kidnapped? And basically they escaped, and Carol knew more saviors were coming, and she set up a trap, lured them into that room full of gasoline, and flicked that lit cigarette in there, closed the door, and burned them alive. That was just, classic Carol right there. And then we have the time, which I know this doll is not in relation to that because this happened in season 9, I believe, where her and Henry are traveling from the kingdom and they get raided by the saviors that rebelled against her and Rick and splintered off into their own group. And they captured, well, they didn't capture her, but they took all her stuff. And while Henry's asleep, she goes out and finds them, and she sets them on fire too. So if you really think back on it, Carol has a real big history on setting people on fire. I think that's just funny. So that's why I posed a question about the gas can. And I think it's great that they included the gas can with her action figure. Hard Productions on YouTube writes, probably when she burned the saviors. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I think she was actually wearing that same outfit that she has in the action figure in season 6. That's right, Hard Productions. She has that same outfit in this action figure that I believe she was wearing in that episode. I don't believe it's the prison one. I believe it's when her and Maggie got kidnapped and she torched those 2 saviors after they escaped and they took care of their captors and they knew more saviors were on their way. So that's what I think that gas can is there for. Bad Weather 320 is joining us on Instagram. Welcome, Bad Weather. Fumi has joined us on Instagram. Let's Gawk 9 has joined us on Instagram. So a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of people watching us tonight throughout all our platforms. So I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. So let me bring up that universal chat screen so everyone can see what everyone is saying, except the Instagram people. Sorry, Instagram, your chats don't get published on this thing because of Instagram rules. So at least you can see what everyone else is writing. So let's see what else we've got today. Well, it has been somewhat confirmed by AMC. We mentioned this a couple of episodes ago about the Rick Grimes movies and the human experiments that was leaked on what the movie's going to be about. That was somewhat confirmed by AMC. So that is going to be at least part of the foundation of the first movie. So we have a little bit of information about the plot, which is, at least they gave us something, which is very exciting. The CRM, apparently, they're not all this great and wonderful group. They are doing human experiments to try to find a cure for the zombie outbreak. So I think Mr. Rick Grimes is not going to be too pleased about that. Marko also brought up a very interesting point to me today. He recently saw a movie called Plan Z. It's an indie film that was shot in Europe, mostly Scotland. And he posed a very interesting question to me, and he wanted me to ask you guys this question as well. It's a hypothetical question, okay? So let's see what the different reactions are going to be from everybody. Say you're in the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, or a apocalypse whatsoever. And let's say you are in what you consider to be a safe place. In this case, you're locked in a bathroom while all hell is breaking loose just outside. While you're there, you get a frantic call from a very good friend, not a loved one, just a very good friend, saying they need your help right now, or they believe they are about to die. Do you leave your safe haven to help? Or is it like the majority of, how the majority of these characters that we see in these fiction movies and TV shows, where basically when everything goes down, it's every man for himself? So everybody just give me the answer. Do you stay or do you go? Do you go out where everyone is just in a mad panic? People are trampling over each other, killing themselves to try to help out this good friend of yours? Or do you stay where you think you're safe? Hard Production writes, nowhere is ever safe in an apocalypse, but I'd go help them. I believe you're right. Saz also agrees. I would go help. Darby on Instagram writes help. Oh, It looks to be the universal answer, Marko, and I would agree. If I'm going to die in the apocalypse, I'm going to go out trying to do something meaningful, even if it's the last thing I do on Earth. Summer writes, I'm staying. That's fine, Summer. There's no right or wrong answer. And you know what? When the hits the fan, that's when our fear instincts kick in, and who knows how we would all react in that situation. Bad weather has given us a thumbs up. Anuelog is waving at us. Thank you for joining us, Anuelog, on Instagram. Adam has joined us on Instagram. Yondley13 has joined us on Instagram. Thank you, all you guys, for joining us tonight. So, yesterday we started a really interesting conversation. And, well, before we get to that, let's, for all our new viewers, let's show the other action figures we have available. Okay? So, we have Beth, who is still available. Daryl is gone. No, wait. Daryl is gone. Sorry, guys. I should have taken him out. But Daryl is gone. That's not available anymore. So we have Beth, Gareth, and today introduced Carol. So those three are on the block. We only have a few more to debut. So since we're getting so close to the end, I'm going to wait till we finish all these out, because we have had quite a few repeat winners on this contest. Marko's questions have been ridiculously hard, and today's no different when you guys get to hear today's trivia question. But since we only have a few left, I'm going to wait till this contest is over, and I'm just going to ship out the remaining action figures all in one shot, because we are getting a lot of repeat winners, and I just want to make sure they all arrive at the same time. And it's going to save on shipping costs as well. So that's what we have going on today. And like I said, yeah, Marko is not letting up. He's making these questions harder and harder as the days move on. Allison CTX has joined us on Instagram. Angelina Rogard has joined us on Instagram. Hey, Allison. You're giving us a smiley love face. Thank you for joining us, Allison. So that's what we have on the contest. And let me bring up our contact info. So for this contest, for all our new viewers, you guys cannot chat in the answer. The answer could only be called in to our number here. If you're inside the United States, the number is 718-509-9270. If you're outside the U.S., please use Skype. It's a free call if you use Skype. Just search for our username on Skype, which is Walking Dead Now. Find us on Skype. We're the only ones on Skype with that name. Add us to your favorites. And that way you'll have us on speed dial for next time as well. So that's the information on how to participate in the trivia. Junior is joining us on Instagram. James has joined us on Instagram. Solivian has joined us on Instagram. The baseball player has joined us on Instagram. Thank you, guys. Rodrigo has joined us on Instagram. Rodrigo Dixon, 18. Kick-ass name, Rodrigo. Rodrigo Dixon, 18, on Instagram has joined us. Thank you, Rodrigo. So there you guys have it. That's how you contact us. If you have the right answer to tonight's trivia, chatting in your answer, it's not going to disqualify you, but you'll probably end up giving the answer to somebody else. So let's go back to this chat screen. Ismail writes, I think this is the largest viewership ever. Well, every day, Ismail, the viewership is growing exponentially on our show. And today, it's a milestone today. Today is our 30th episode. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we have been on every day for 1 full month. And let me tell you what, we are nowhere near short on running on topics. The topics are just flowing. They're just going to keep on coming. So I'm not even nervous about running out of stuff to talk about The Walking Dead. So last night we started about the group's journey to Alexandria and how horrible it was after Terminus. Carlos Andreas on Facebook is joining us. Hello, Carlos. Thank you for joining us on Facebook, and welcome to our show. Welcome to our show, Carlos Andres. So, yeah, we started on the group's journey after Rick made the decision to, after he saw Noah's little community had been overrun, he finally agrees to follow Abraham, Maggie, and Glenn, who left for Washington, to follow them up to Washington. And the journey was, well, it was hell on earth. They were in the middle of a drought. They were hungry. If you guys remember that scene, they almost got torn apart by these ravaged dogs. I believe Daryl is the one who took the dogs out, and the dogs became their dinner. And that's when they came across Aaron. And Aaron left them like bottled water and some food at the side of the road. They did not know where that came from. If you remember, Eugene was going to take a drink, and Abraham slaps it right out of his hand. Basically saying, we don't know where that came from. For all we know, that's just poison. Marko writes, Sasha took them out. I keep getting that mixed out. I keep saying Daryl. Sasha was the one that took out the dogs. Sorry. So it was Sasha, not Daryl, that took out the dogs. So anyway, water, food. Aaron has been monitoring them with Eric. They've been keeping an eye on them. And as Aaron reveals a little bit later on, the way he describes it is, if a group of people have been traveling together for this long, hungry, thirsty, and they haven't turned on each other, that is what made him approach them and basically invite them to Alexandria. So guys, the phone lines are open. I want you guys to call and just help me just talk through this subject. The phone lines are not just for the contest, so please give me a call anytime throughout the show. 718-509-9270 if you're inside the US. If you're outside the US, use Skype, search for Walking Dead Now, and the call is free. So if anybody feels like calling, coming on the air with me, chatting about this, please do so. The phone lines are open. So yesterday we covered Aaron introducing himself to Maggie and Sasha, Rick knocking the living daylights out of him, not trusting anybody. After Terminus, Rick had lost trust in all of humanity outside of his group. He basically, Aaron told him that he had an RV. Rick didn't believe him, but he sent out a scout. Rick basically turned to Aaron and told him, if they come back and they're telling me you're lying, or if they don't come back at all, he just flat out tells him, I'm going to stick a knife right through the back of your head. So at this point, we know that Rick has lost all trust in humanity. And who wouldn't after going through that Terminus experience? Who wouldn't lose their faith in humanity after almost becoming dinner for these group of crazy people that they decided their way of survival is to consume other living people? I mean, that's just nuts. And I don't blame Rick one bit. They were tired. I mean, they were just absolutely exhausted. But things took a big turn for them because Aaron was telling the truth. There was this place called Alexandria. Rick would not even let Aaron take him there the way Aaron told him, we have a road that's been cleared. Again, Rick is not trusting him. He ain't trusting him whatsoever. Hard Production writes, I would have lost faith in humanity after the governor. Yeah, there's a psychopath for you. Ismail on Instagram writes, remember the biggest fight with the walkers in Alexandria? That's one of my favorite scenes. And I'm going to get to that tonight. I'm going to get to that scene, Ismail. I have that in my notes of what I want to talk about tonight. So Rick not trusting Aaron still, even though Aaron's RV claim with the food turned out to be accurate. Still doesn't trust him. He picks an alternate route to Alexandria. That goes really bad. Okay? It goes really bad. The road they pick is just overrun by walkers. It's that amazing scene where I forget who's driving the car, and they're just plowing through the walkers. So somebody help me out. Who was driving the car when they were trying to make their way to Alexandria, and they're just plowing through all those walkers, so many of them that they stalled out the car. So I forgot who was driving. I don't know if it was Glenn, if it was Rick. I know Aaron was in the back seat. Hard Production writes Glenn, I'm pretty sure. I think it was Glenn too. Ismail also writes Glenn. I.M5H is joining us on Instagram. La Ingress has joined us on Instagram. Marco confirms too. It was Glenn that was driving that car. So at that point, all hell breaks loose. The car becomes disabled. They break out of the car. Summer also agrees it was Glenn. And Aaron breaks loose. Glenn sees him in the cornfields, which, by the way, they're not. I've lived in Virginia for 23 years, and I've never seen a cornfield here. But anyway, they're free in the cornfields. Glenn sees that Aaron's got loose because they had him tied up. Glenn's like, you know what? Do what you got to do. I got to go find my friends, you know? But anyway, they do make it through that night. They do end up making it to Alexandria. Not the easy way, but they end up making it there. Jorge has joined us on Instagram. So what we really want to talk about today is Deanna and the importance that Deanna played in how Rick's group got basically integrated into Alexandria. Summer on Twitter writes, Rick was more willing to go to Noah's home than he was to go to Alexandria. Yeah. Well, Rick got to know Noah, you know, and Rick just met Aaron. And now think of it. Put yourself in Rick's position. You're dirty as hell. You're tired. You're exhausted. You're hungry. You're thirsty. And here comes this very clean cut, nice shave, hair trimmed guy out of nowhere and says, hey, you know, guess what? I have this great place where you guys can come spend the rest of your lives in. Yeah, I'd be a little suspicious as well. Saz writes, I can only hear Deanna the way Abraham said it. LOL. You know what? Speaking of Abraham, I brought up the little sound bites, you know? Abraham sound bites. Let's play some.
You're kidding me, right?
Say it again, Abraham.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I ain't kidding you, buddy. No, I'm not kidding you.
You don't stop! You never stop!
No, don't stop either.
What's your problem?
More, come on, a couple more.
Fight. Like to fight.
He likes to fight.
Let me tell you how to best avoid winding up just another dead alive prick.
I love that one. One more, come on, a few more. Come on, guys.
Oh, crap. I don't give a monkey's left nut.
That's my favorite. That is my favorite. I want to hear that one again.
I don't give a monkey's left nut.
Here's the next one.
Son of a dick.
And the last Abraham one that I just currently have. I'm going to get more.
That there is a long, dark tunnel full of reanimated corpses.
I love his de-Abrahamisms. I mean, I can fill up a whole hour of just playing Abrahamisms. And then we have the Eugene quotes. Those two together make such a great team. And I'm so glad that they have teamed up in those commercials. I'm sure you guys have seen the commercials with Abraham and Eugene. They just make such a great team. You know, and Hard Production writes, you have to play those when Michael Cudlitz is on here. I'm thinking about it. Zombika37 on Instagram writes, he was so awesome. He was amazing. And I'm just so psyched that I get to talk to him on the air. I'm just so psyched. I'm so excited to be talking to him on the air. So, Yeah, yeah. Okay. Going back to Deanna. Sorry, we got a little sidetracked there. Deanna was just critical. I mean, all the other Alexandrians were very weary, even though they tried their best and put on a smiley face to accept the group. It was Deanna that was really telling them, hey, we need these people. They know how to survive out there. We don't. We don't know how to survive. It was Deanna and Reg, primarily Deanna. Reg was Deanna's husband. Ismail writes they were scared. Yeah, they were scared. They had been isolated behind those nice protective walls of Alexandria, and all of a sudden, here comes this scary group, with blood all over their clothes and so on. Summer on Twitter writes, did you notice the dirty handprint that Rick left on Deanna's wall? That group was really dirty. I did. And they did that on purpose. That's a very memorable scene for me. Rick stands up and he puts his hand on the window frame as he's looking out the window. And when he removes his hand, that white window frame is just black. Like oil, grit, dirt, grease, blood, all mixed together on Rick's hand. And he left a big handprint on that window frame. Ismail also writes, the bearded guy, I love the smile he had. The bearded guy. So, what did Deanna see in Rick's group? Well, Deanna had the foresight to see that Alexandria was not going to be able to sustain their status quo. That's my opinion. Deanna had the foresight to see, hey, we're doing good now, but we're not going to be able to sustain this. Food eventually is going to run out. We're going to run low on supplies, and we're going to need to make our way outside these walls. And we're going to need to find supplies, and that's why she really wanted Rick, and she, as the leader of Alexandria at the time, she had the foresight to see that coming. And that's why she was really pushing hard to make Rick and Michonne and Sasha, Abraham, Tara, everybody, Daryl, just feel welcomed. She was trying really hard. The other members of Alexandria, they were welcoming. They were a little timid, but they did put on their best face. But the best was Carol. When Carol just flipped a switch, when she made it inside that community and became little Susie Homemaker, because she knew exactly the role she had to play. She knew exactly how to make these people feel comfortable. Carol went from burning people to exchanging recipes with the housewives of Alexandria. That would be a great show. The Housewives of Alexandria. So, AMC, if you're looking to make another spin-off, you can put this in the time frame before Rick and the group joined Alexandria, and you can call it The Housewives of Alexandria. I think that's a great idea. Anyway, Carol just, rolled into that role. I mean, she just flipped that switch, became little Susie Homemaker, and played it up and was amazing. I mean, she was absolutely amazing. And she would go to Rick when they were alone, tell him what's going on. She's the one that told Rick that Pete is beating on Jesse and also beating up on his kids because, she was a battered wife herself. She knew all the signs. She knew exactly what to look for, and she knew it. And I love that scene. Summer writes she was amazing. She is amazing. And I love that scene when she approaches Pete, when she comes over the house after him and Rick get into that fight, and she pulls the knife on Pete, and she reveals her true self to him and says, "I can kill you." I can kill you right now. And there's not a single person here that wouldn't believe me when I tell them that you attacked me. There's not a single person here that would not believe me that you attacked me and I was just defending myself. I could kill you. I can kill you right now if I wanted to. That was amazing. Elpo has joined us on Instagram. Ivan Fernandez has joined us on Instagram. Tosh has joined us on Instagram. So we are at 30 minutes into the show. You know what that means, guys. Trivia time. Trivia time. Yes, tonight's question brought to you by Marko, our producer. So let me just show you the prizes again. Scratch off Daryl. Daryl's been spoken for. Saz won Daryl. So Daryl's not available. What we have is Beth, Gareth, and newly introduced Carol with a revolver and a gas can and a knife. Her famous knife is also there too. I don't know if you guys can see it up there in the left-hand corner, but you know the famous knife that she has with the where she can put her fingers through it. That's included in this action figure. So this is a great action figure. Okay, so let's go ahead with tonight's trivia question. I've got the phone lines open. The number is right there. It's 718-509-9270. In the U.S., just use whatever phone you want. Call that number. Outside the U.S., use Skype. Search for our name, Walking Dead Now. Add us to your favorites so you don't have to go searching for us again. Okay, so here we go. Here's tonight's trivia question. After Rick blows up the bridge and we do that 6-year time jump, while looking for him, Michonne stumbles upon an abandoned, run-down van on the road. While looking through the van, she finds a cigar box. Name at least 2 items in that cigar box. Let me repeat the question. After Rick blows up the bridge and we do the time jump, while looking for him, Michonne stumbles upon an abandoned, run-down van on the road. While looking through the van, she finds a cigar box. Name at least 2 items in that cigar box. That is tonight's trivia contest question. The first one to call in with the right answer, please don't chat it in. The first person to call in with the right answer gets their pick of which action figure they want. So there you go. I'll repeat the question again in a few minutes. If we don't have a winner by then, so far there has not been a night where we have not had a winner. So these questions are just going to keep getting harder and harder. And well, because we're coming out with the final few characters that we have left to do to premiere. So anyway, I'm monitoring the phone lines. First person to call with the right answer gets to win. Simple as that. So going back to Deanna, you guys remember that scene when Rick is being interviewed and Rick is telling her, you should not be letting people in here. You shouldn't be letting people in here. And that's a very weird remark for him to make because Alexandria is just the kind of place that Rick and the gang were searching for. And I just found that really odd that Rick would tell her, you know, you should not be letting people just come on in here because he has seen what's out there. And I think just by that look on his face, he's just still in a confused state of mind. He's just out of it a little. I mean, not a little bit. He's out of it. Like I said, tired, exhausted, thirsty, surreal. He must think, you know, it's one of his hallucinations. And he's telling Deanna, you should not be letting strangers in. Oh, Summer is calling. Hey, Summer, you're on Dead Talk Live with Viz. How are ya?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. So, do you have an answer for me?
I think so.
All you got to do is name me 2 items in that cigar box.
Okay. So a 4-leaf clover and some baseball cards.
Yes. Yes. Those are 2 out of the 4. The complete
Oh.
4 are a 4-leaf clover, the baseball cards, which you just heard Summer say, and then we have a yo-yo. And actually the most important thing in that box that we actually got to see again and became very important to Judith was the cowboy toy figure. Do you remember that, Summer?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, that's where Michonne found that cowboy toy figure. It's not really a cowboy. It's almost an identical replica of Rick when he was wearing his cop's uniform. You know,
Yeah.
even with the gun stretched out and the hat and everything. And Michonne gave that to Judith, and it became very important to Judith. But congratulations,
Yep.
Summer. You got 2 out of the 4, so you are tonight's winner again.
Well, thank
Congratulations.
you.
So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So, who do you want next? Who do you pick? Beth, Daryl, Gareth from Terminus, or Carol?
I'm going to go with Carol.
Of course. Of course. Why wouldn't you? Okay, there you go, guys. Summer has picked Carol. So Carol is off the block. We will be premiering our next action figure probably, let's see, today's Sunday, Tuesday. I'll probably be premiering the next one on Tuesday. So Rise Asad is waving at us on Instagram. Kitus McCroy23. He says, pronounce my name. Bet you can't. Kitus _ McCroy23. How did I do, Kitus? Let me know if I pronounced it correct. Anyway, Summer, congratulations. And
Thank you so much.
And we'll be talking again real soon. I already have your shipping information. So when I do that massive shipping after this contest is over, you'll be getting all your action figures.
All right. Thank you.
Saz and Hard Productions are all congratulating you on YouTube.
Thank you, Sass. Thank you, Heart Productions.
All right, Summer. We'll talk again real soon. Take care now.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye-bye. So there you guys have it. Summer is our winner today. Carol. So Carol is off the block. Carol is going to Summer from Twitter. Louise is leaving us. Good night, Louise. Thank you for joining us. Kendra Birchfield is waving at us. Birch! Kendra Birchfield is my wife's playmate. They play games together online. So Kendra Birchfield, a.k.a. Birch, who ditched us last night in order to play her game. And I got really upset that Birch ditched my show last night. I know that she's been watching my show. I see the list of the people who watch this show after it's over. And Birch ditched me in order because I asked my wife about it, and apparently she was leading the group of their online game playing. I did yell at you. I called you a traitor. After the show, while my wife was playing, or the day after, I screamed into my wife's headphone. I called her a traitor. You betrayed me. But I'm over it. We welcome you with open arms back into our live viewership here. And hopefully you can have us at least playing in the background while you are slaying your dragons with my wife and your entire group. Can we agree on that, Birch? Can you have me on in the background while you slay your dragons? Come on, give me at least that much. You can have me on in the background. Okay, I know you wear the headphones and you guys all chit-chat while you're playing, but you can have me in the background. I know you can. I know you'll do it. I know I can count on you. She says I will try. I will try. Okay. But just keep in mind, every day after this show is over, I'm going to be looking for you on that list. and I'll know which shows you've missed. So try hard. Try really, really, really hard. Anyway, let's continue. Well, okay, so we went over how the Alexandrians were not happy with the outsiders. Deanna and Reg were the only two. Reg was such a nice man, you know, Deanna's husband. And it was Noah. Was it Noah that wanted to learn from Reg how to become an architect? And Reg was going to teach him. And Noah started taking notes before Noah suffered that horrendous death that he suffered on The Walking Dead. I believe it was Noah. Noah wanted to be Reg's apprentice. So, yeah. You know, but Noah suffered that horrendous death. Hard Production writes, the poor Noah had him to deem such an unnecessary death. Yeah. Such a horrible death. The death that Noah had is the one that I wish the governor had. Zombika 37 confirms it was Noah. Yeah. Noah wanted to be an architect, just like Reg. And Reg was such a nice man. He was such a nice man. And Pete, you know, when he came in throwing that rant, they don't belong here. They don't belong here. Pushes Reg aside while holding Michonne's katana and slices the guy's throat open. I mean, are you serious? Oh my God. Oh my God. So, and then we get Rick going, you know, I'm jumping a little bit in the Alexandria timeline, but Rick getting almost exiled because of his fight with Pete when they busted through that window in the house and Michonne had to come in and knock him out. They were on the verge of exiling Rick. Now, here's another hypothetical question. Let's say Rick was exiled from Alexandria. Okay, let's say that whole Pete incident did not happen. Rick was voted off the island. Okay, let's say Rick was voted off the island. Let's not ask the question who would have gone with Rick. Who would have stayed behind? Now, of course, Gabriel. That we know because he betrayed the group to Deanna. He called Rick Lucifer. You know, he called Rick Lucifer. Why do you think Rick was so hung up on Jesse? Is that a serious question, Summer? Why do you think Rick was so hung up on Jesse? Well, Summer, I don't want to rag on you, but let's put it this way. Jesse was a very pretty girl. And I think Rick had feelings for her. And I think that's why he was hung up on Jesse. Jesse was a very attractive woman. Rick was a single male. And beyond that, I think it's pretty basic. I think there's nothing really beyond that. Hard Production writes, if that happened, Rick and the group would have took over Alexandria, period. Everyone besides Gabe, though. Eugene would have stayed. Absolutely, Summer. Eugene would have stayed. Ismail writes about Jessie. She was so beautiful. She was a beautiful woman. Zombika writes, everyone would have left except Gabriel. Eugene would have stayed as well, Zombika. Eugene has stated many times over that he is going to stick with the person that has the best likelihood of keeping air in Eugene's lungs. I don't know exactly how he worded it, and I wouldn't be able to repeat it anyway, but the person most likely to keep Eugene alive, that's who Eugene is going to stick with. Amit Kanwar on YouTube writes, Carl would stay because Rick wouldn't let Carl come with him. Oh, man. Amit on YouTube. That's an interesting point, man. Wow. Carl. What would Carl do if Rick got exiled? You're right. I mean, let's put aside that. Yeah, I agree with what Hard Production said. If they would have exiled Rick, Daryl, Carol, they would have it would have been all out war in Alexandria. So let's just be grateful that didn't happen. But if it did happen, and let's say his own group even turned on him, which is not realistic. But let's say Michonne, Daryl say, hey, you know what, Rick? We have a nice thing here. I mean, where are we going to go? This is what we've been looking for. Amit writes, Carl would have stayed because Rick would not have let Carl come with him. You're right, and I agree with that. But do you really see Carl listening to his father saying, no, you're staying? Or do you see Carl leaving on his own and following his father out there? That's what I see happening. Even though Rick would probably insist that Carl stay behind, I definitely would see Carl, yeah, okay, Dad. And then Carl following his dad right outside Alexandria. Ismail writes, the phone line isn't on Skype now. Sorry, Ismail. I just missed your call. I missed your call. I had the phone thing down. My bad. Call me right back. It is on. I just missed your call. So give me a call again, Ismail. Sorry about that. Big Body Jerk. Hey, Viz, do you play video games? If I only had the time. If I only had the time, Big Body, every night and day it's about getting ready for this show. So here we have Ismail calling us. Ismail, welcome to Dead Talk Live. You're on with Viz. How you doing, Ismail?
I'm great, thanks.
Thank you.
How are you?
We're good. Zambika, that thing you did for Zambika yesterday, giving her the governor. She is so grateful. We're all grateful. Thank you so much for doing that again.
No, thank you guys for running such a beautiful show.
Oh, no, thank you. You guys are the you guys are the stars of the show. So what's on your mind, Ismail?
I want you mentioned the scene where Michonne puts Rick down after the fight with Pete.
Yeah, she hits him in the back of the head with the butt of a gun, I believe.
Did you know she hit him for real? She knocked him out for real?
You know what? Now that you mentioned it, I think I might have read that. But I totally forgot about it. So she knocked out Andrew Lincoln. I mean, she knocked Andrew Lincoln out cold.
Yes, she did.
Or did she just hit him, like, for real, but, he didn't actually lose consciousness or anything?
What I read on the article, he lost consciousness for, like, 5 minutes.
Wow. How many of you guys out there knew that?
And there was blood.
Jeez. Denai must have really been pissed at Andrew. I mean, she must have really been pissed at him about something. Wow.
Yeah.
How many of you guys out there knew that? Oh, Summer writes, she sure did. Saz, did you know that? I'm sure Saz. There hasn't been a question that has stumped Saz.
Yes, Saz is it. Yeah, Saz is a pro.
Saz is the Walking Dead Wikipedia. She is
like she deserves a real shot at the Walking Dead cast.
Yeah. Hard Production writes, I knew it. Yeah. I remember reading about it a while ago. I had completely forgotten it, but thanks, Ismail. Thank you for bringing that up to me again. So
I just wanted I just wanted to tell you that.
That's a great bit of information. So thank you for calling in, Ismail, and sharing.
You're welcome.
All right, welcome. We'll talk again real soon, okay?
All right, goodbye, Viz.
All right, Ismail, we'll talk
goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All right, that was Ismail. That's what I'd like from you guys, calling with these little tidbits that you guys know about, that I knew too, but I did forget. I'll admit when I don't know something, but I did read that. I just completely forgot about it. So Jungle on Instagram writes, when is the season finale coming? Russell on Instagram is waving at us. Jungle, we don't know when the season finale is coming. And, I'm not even going to ask that question to Michael Cudlitz when he's here on Thursday because he's probably so sick of it. Oh, we have another caller. Hey, Marko, how you doing? Marko, are you there? Well, that's our producer. We lost him. Marko, call us back. I don't know if you couldn't hear me or I couldn't hear you, but that was our producer, Marko, calling. So I either screwed up really bad or he has some more info to add. So hopefully he'll call back. So yeah, Jungle, we don't know when the season finale is coming. And I'm not going to ask that question. Okay, here's Marko calling back. Hey, big brother, you there?
Hey, everybody. How are you?
We're good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I hate this 10-second delay.
Well, I told you.
How is it?
You got to turn down the broadcast.
I know.
So what's up?
Nothing. Just wanted to check in to see how everybody's doing tonight. And just want to congratulate Summer for getting that question. I guess I have to work a little harder trying to find something more difficult. But anyway, congratulations again. Just wanted to let you guys know that in case you have not seen it, there is a really cool documentary out called Doc of the Dead. It came out a few years ago.
Spell the doc
what it
out
does
part,
is,
so the people know
Sorry?
what you're talking. Spell out doc so people know what to
Doc.
search
It's
for.
just DO. It's short for documentary, so it's just DOC.
Okay, DOC. And what's the full
Doc
title?
of the Dead. Yep.
Doc of
Doc
the Dead.
of the Dead.
So guys,
you can catch it on YouTube. It's like an hour and 15 minutes long. It's a great little show. It's got the beginning of how zombie movies were created on film, and it's got live interviews with George Romero and Bud Sherman, who played I can't think of his first name. The actor who played Bud on the
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead,
Yeah.
and it kind of chronicles the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, and it's done in a humor way as well too. So if you want to give yourself a little time and something to kind of look at, that's a really good distraction. It's about an hour and 15 minutes long, and you can catch it on YouTube, or if you're here in the States, if you have Epix on your cable channel, you can see it there, and it's also on demand on Epix as well. But
So-
it's very good. You'll enjoy it.
I'm assuming it's completely free on Netflix, right?
Well, it's not on Netflix. It's on Epix, which is like the cable channel.
Not
but
not
it's
not Netflix, YouTube. It's completely free on
Yes,
YouTube.
it's completely free on YouTube. Yes,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
actually see the whole thing. It's great. So, and that's also the only place that you can actually catch the original Dawn of the Dead as well. It's not on any other option as well, which is really weird. It hasn't been released on video. It hasn't been released on Vudu. I'm not sure why the studio is keeping it locked up, but there's a lot of great old zombie films that still haven't been released. I don't know whether the studio is not getting the right push to release them, but Dawn of the Dead is a movie that needs to come out. It has to be seen again by everybody, even though the movie is it's ages a little bit. It's still a great film, and it's the godmother and birth mother of all these zombie series. So
I love
it's really
that.
good. So get a chance to see it. Yeah. Yeah.
If you put up all three of the dead, the Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead, I would have to say Dawn and Night of the Living Dead are like tied for my favorite, with Day of the Dead being a very close second.
Yes, Day of the Dead was good because the studio had a little bit more money.
Yeah.
So Romero was able to use like Greg Nicotero and Tom Savini, and you go on location and use a lot more extras. And the film was before CGI, so all the violence was done very well. And then he tried to expand the series by doing Diary of the Dead and Survival of the Dead. So if anyone hasn't seen those, watch them. They're very good. Diary of the Dead kind of coincides with the original Night of the Living Dead, so it kind of tells you the beginning of how everything started. And then Survival of the Dead takes a group of military personnel from Diary and puts them in their own story.
Let me ask you,
it's...
do you remember Land of the Dead?
Yes, Land of the Dead is actually a sequel to Day of the Dead.
So is that done by Romero as well?
That's George Romero as well. And if you haven't seen it, I'm going to spoil it for you. Do you guys remember from Dawn of the Dead, Tom Savini played the motorcycle gang leader with the black leather jacket?
I do.
Okay,
I do, yeah.
In Land of the Dead, he actually is a zombie in this movie.
Tom Savini?
So you can tell that he actually at some point turned and became a zombie.
Wow. And, if you guys out there who don't know who Tom Savini is, back in the days before, video effects were all done by computer graphics, and these guys had to work at making, the blood and all the makeup, Tom Savini was the best of the best. And me and Marko have actually met Tom Savini decades ago, but we met him plenty of times. He's an amazing man. And the days before CGI, where everything was done by makeup and these guys had to really work. And I remember at one of these conventions that we were at, and it was time for the audience to ask questions to Tom Savini. This is a very distinct memory for me. One of the audience members stood up and asked Tom Savini for his recipe for blood. Do you remember that, Marko?
I remember that, yes.
A guy stood up, and seriously, he wasn't joking. He wanted Tom Savini's recipe to exactly how to make fake blood. I thought that was hysterical. Yeah,
and he actually gave Jason a face because he created the Jason boy in the lake in the original Friday the 13th. That was his makeup when he jumped out at the end and grabbed Alice over the canoe. And he actually directed the remake of Night of the Living Dead in 1990. So if you haven't seen that, that's another great film to see too. And I met the cast as well too, because when I went to LA in a convention, they were all there. So that was kind of cool as well.
Let me ask you a question before you go. Just remind us again, what role did Greg Nicotero play in Day of the Dead?
Greg Nicotero was one of the soldiers. He's a very cameo role. You'll see him in the background. You won't recognize him. He has short blonde hair, no mustache.
And so he wasn't a zombie?
He dies, but we don't see him come back.
Because
that I can recall.
We know now that he loves playing the zombies. And I know
he does.
On The Walking Dead, every extra that gets cast as a walker, he gives them like a full day's class.
Yeah,
on how to be
he
a
does.
walker.
A lot of the directors like to make their own films as well too. And if anyone has seen the last Living Dead movie, Land of the Dead, in the scene when they're at the bar, when they have the two zombies that are chained to the wall and they take pictures of them, those two actors are actually Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who were in Shaun of the Dead, both actors. Wow.
Anyway, Marko, I hate to cut you off, but we're down to
you got to go. I know. All right, guys, have a good night. We'll talk tomorrow. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Marko. Good night. All right, guys, that was our producer and my brother Marko filling us in with some more great information. And it's that time of the night, guys. Man, this hour just flies by. Let me tell you, it just flies by. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Saz, Amit on YouTube, Hard Productions, Summer, who was our winner tonight, Ismail, Zambika, 37, left the room a couple of minutes ago. Good night, Zambika. Lifting Fit Journey, still likes turtles. Lifting Fit Journey is going to like turtles till the day he dies. I love turtles, and every time you mention that Lifting Fit Journey, they're becoming more and more endeared to my heart. Turtles are amazing. Thank you to all you guys for watching tonight and every night. And until tomorrow, guys, stay walking.